Hi, I'm KB with Nerdophiles. How are you both?
We're good.
Great,
Yeah.
super happy.
Happy.
Super
Yeah,
happy.
we saw the film last night. We weren't gonna watch it last night. We weren't gonna sit through, but we sat through and we loved seeing it on IMAX in the Chinese theater. It was so special.
Totally different experience.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, it's such an incredible film. So let me dive right in. Talk a little bit about kind of the greatest sacrifices that Camila and Lorenzo watched their father make in order to kind of create this life for them in the States. And how does that impact them directly? And I'll start with you, Ximena.
So I had a similar experience in my life because I saw as a baby and then growing up, I saw how started realizing how my father and my mother made the sacrifice to move to the UAE. To my dad was a pilot, and in Mexico, it was the company got bankrupt, so he flew and to found this airline, and they left everything. They left family, they left their language, their country, their food. Their community, they had to start from scratch, and I think that we watch consciously as Camila and Lorenzo in the film, we watch Silverio go through the same. We watch him sort of. I see him in that stage where Camila goes back finally, and she sees her dad like sort of grappling with and finding him trying to just asking like where am I from, and I need everyone, and I need in the speech I need people to see where I'm from and to understand my root, and he's then Lorenzo challenges him. He's like, Dad, like who cares? And then finally I think what he finds is most important is really just family and connection and being present with
I love
them.
it.
Yeah, I think that when we are really young and our parents make decisions like that, it's really hard because now we are getting the background of their lives, that they were probably raised in Mexico, for example, in this case, and then you get to be raised by parents from another country but living in another country. So you're in this middle of nowhere that you don't know where you belong, if you're where you're growing up, or if you're where your parents are from, because they're tell you, you trust them and you're everything they tell you. So you trust that you are what they tell you to be, and then you're questioning yourself like, but I identify myself with people from here because I've been living here. So it's this doubting and doubting about yourself all the time, and it's questioning and finding yourself. So I think Lorenzo goes through that. Camila goes through that, and you can actually see that, and they're really strong on their both opinions, and they're different, and they're really direct, and you can tell by the text that we have in the film how Lorenzo makes really clear to his dad that whatever you think you're right is probably not the right thing for me, and the same thing happens with Camila and Pooh. So I think yeah, that's it.
Yeah, they both challenge their father in a really, in my personal opinion, in a beautiful way, because I think it just causes him to grow in ways that he kind of like, never anticipated. And oftentimes when parents never think that their kids are really there to teach them like hard life lessons, but I think that that's like just the nature of life and the cycle of life for sure.
Yeah.
It is definitely.
But I will ask my final question, and that's really just, especially for you, Iker, because this is your very first movie role. So, kind of what is it about this experience that each of you will take away and carry into your next project?
Well, I think this is gonna help me for the rest of my life. I might watch this film in so many years and look back and and probably cry a lot.
Of course.
But yeah, I take a lot of things away. Probably the way of loving, the way of living life, the way of questioning everything that's surrounding me. That diversity and comfort and discomfort and letting go and letting in um, and healing and hurting, and there's so much deep stuff that movie talks about. So every time that I need an advice or go back to where I am or what I am, I'll just rewatch this film and feel me.
I love
Yeah,
it.
I think I owe a lot to this film. Every time I see it, I relate more to it
Mhm.
and about the journey our characters have, the journey we had while shooting. And then, I don't know, I felt like I was cast perfectly for this project. I was ready to do it. And then watching it now and the experience we're having now about it, I think it's just going to be this moment frozen in time that we're always going to look back at and be so grateful for.
Well, you both did an amazing job. I think the film is so beautiful. I honestly can't wait to watch it again because there's so many different themes and a lot of symbolism that I find that I
Yeah.
just need to see again in order to really
You
experience it
should.
again.
You should.
But I just think it is such a rich and vulnerable project, and I loved every
Absolutely.
moment. So thank you so much for chatting with Nerdophiles. Really appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Thanks to you. Thank you for
Thanks.
coming.